All right, here we go. Welcome to Worksheet 24. Let's take some sentences and mess them up. So we're going to take some active sentences, we're going to switch them to passive. We'll do the opposite, a little fly in my face. Let's get it. All right, so the directions do ask you to label your sentences as well. I know that is sometimes a tricky thing for people, but just do your best, mainly because I want you thinking about the cases. And I feel like if I hold you accountable for labeling, it's much more likely you'll actually think about the cases. So starting with our first sentence, longas literas mitam. So we have our accusative, and then we have our verb. First singular. This verb happens to be future because it's am ace et. So as we said, the first thing you want to do is you want to translate the original sentence. Mitam longas literas. I will send. Technically, it's a long letter. Even though it's in the plural, that word in the plural means a letter that you are sending somebody. Okay, I will send a long letter. I'll put the little s in parentheses because you could argue it either way. But a lot of times when you see that word in Latin, it's plural in Latin, but it actually means like a letter that you send to somebody. So I will send a long letter. That's step one. Next thing I would want to do is make sure that I know what's my target. So what's my English transformation that I'm working towards. So I will send a long letter. A long letter will be sent by me. That's the passive version that we're aiming for. So now how are we going to get there, right? How are we going to get to that? Well, think about your new subject. Now your subject is a long letter, right? So longas literas, we're going to make that longae literae. Right? We're going to make that our new nominative. Right? By me is probably what's going to come next, and we talked about this in our do now. Me, right? That is our ablative of agent. And then we need our verb. And this is where it's a little tricky because you can't just say what's the passive of mitam. I can't just take the first person singular verb that I had before and now all of a sudden make it passive because I'm not the subject anymore. The long letter is the subject. So the long letter is going to be third plural. Again, I know it's plural in Latin, it's singular in English. I probably shouldn't have gone with this one as the first option, but my apologies. Mittentur is what we're looking for. Okay? And that verb is third plural future. Right? So backing up a little bit, first step, translate the original sentence. I will send a long letter. Switch it around in English. A long letter will be sent by me. Long letter is now the subject. That's why it's nominative. By me becomes the ablative of agent. And then mittentur, third person, because now the subject is the letter as opposed to I. That's the name of the game. Okay? So moving on to our next sentence here. Formatting is the worst. Kibus, that's our subject. Kibus is food. Nobis, there's our ablative of agent. By us, portabatur, third singular, imperfect. Right? So it is passive. The food was being carried. Portabatur, it was being carried a nobis, by us. So we're starting with a passive, which means that we need to work towards an active sentence. That's going to be our goal. So our new sentence, the food was being carried by us. We switch that around. We were carrying the food. So this is what we're aiming for. We were carrying the food. So now the food is going to be my direct object. We were carrying is going to be my verb, right? So the food is probably going to go first since we don't really need a word for we. So kibus becomes kibum because it's now the direct object. We were carrying portábamos. So it's much shorter in terms of word count in the active. We were carrying portábamos, and then the food is my direct object. So what we have here is we have an accusative direct object, and then we have a verb that is first plural imperfect. Next one here, discipuli mea verba audiunt. So my subject in this sentence are discipuli, students. Mea verba are the direct object. Mea verba being neuter, that's why you have that form, mea verba, neuter plural. And then my verb here is audiunt, third plural and present. So we translate our original sentence, discipuli, the students, audiunt, here, mea verba, my words. There's our original. Next step, flippy it around. The students hear my words. My words are heard by the students. That's what we're aiming for. Now how do we get there? Well, my new subject is going to be my words. So I have to take mea verba and make them the subject, make them nominative. Since they're neuter, that's pretty easy to do because the neuter nominative and the neuter accusative are exactly the same. So it's still mea verba. No change needed. By the students is going to be a discipulis, right? Discipuli becomes discipulis, by the students. And then we have our verb. My words are the subject, so we're still going to be third plural, audiuntur this time. So we have a new nominative, right, which kind of looks a lot like our accusative because it was neuter. So mea verba, a discipulis is my ablative of agent, by the students, and then my verb is third plural and present. Just now it's passive. I hope as you do more of these, it kind of like you get into a routine with it, a pattern. Okay, you're asking yourself the same questions. The tricky thing is, as always, can you change these words around? If I ask you to take a word and make it ablative, that should be a pretty easy ask, right? For some of you, maybe we're still working on that. But a couple more here. Carmen. A Carmen is a song, right, or a poem. In this case, we'll go with song. It is nominative, right? It is the subject of the sentence. A poetis. They are my ablative of agent. A poeta is a poet. So a poetis is by the poets. And then my verb here, third singular, it's actually future because it's third conjugation. And you only know that by knowing the conjugation. It's kano, not kaneo. So that's a vocab issue. So my original sentence says, Carmen ganetur a poetis. Well, we could go with poem here. The poem will be sung. The thing is, poetry in the ancient world was always to meter, so there was no difference in Latin between a poem and a song. They're essentially the same thing. They're words put to a rhythm, to a meter. So the song will be sung by the poets. You could just easily say the poem will be recited. The poem will be performed by the poets. So now we got to flippy that. The song will be sung by the poets. Changes to the poets will sing the song. So that's in English, flipping it around. Now, the poets are the subject, so I have to take poetis, make them nominative because they're now the subject. Poetai. The song is now the direct object, so I have to take Carmen and make it accusative. Carmen, Carminis, neuter. So it turns out the nominative and the accusative are the same. Hey, Jaden. So when I take Carmen and I make it accusative, it's still Carmen. So neuter nouns are going to have this overlap in the forms. Poeta Carmen, and now the poets will sing the song. They will sing. So my verb becomes third person plural. Because it's not the song anymore, it's they. The poets will sing the song. I have a feeling that's going to be the trickiest part for people, is knowing the verb form. So I'm going to keep on repeating this. Think about the subject. The subject and the verb have to agree with each other. The poets will sing the song. They will sing the song. So we need an NT on our verb. And just so we can label this out, right? Making sure we know, we have our subject, poetai. We have our accusative, Carmen. And then our verb is now third plural. They will sing. Okay. Two more, and then we get to verby box land. Hostis urbem capiet. So we have our subject, the enemy. We have urbem and the accusative, our direct object. And then our verb here, third singular future. Capiet is future. So our original sentence says, the hostis, the enemy, capiet, will take urbem, will take the city. The enemy will take the city, will seize the city. When we transform our new sentence, the city will be taken by the enemy. So that's what we're aiming for. Which means in our new sentence, the city is now the subject. So we need the nominative of urbem, which is herbs. It's a vocab issue. By the enemy is now our agent. So hostis, hostis, hosti, hostem, hosta. We need the ablative of that. So hopefully we can come up with those endings pretty quick. And then the city will be taken. It will be taken. So we're still third person singular here, except now it's passive. Urbs a hosta. Right, so we have our nominative, the city. We have our ablative, ablative of agent, a hosta, by the enemy. And then we have our third singular verb. Right. The city will be taken, urbs capietur a hosta, by the enemy. Get that out of the way for now. You get out of there. Okay. And our last one. Captured is good. Yeah. City will be captured. City will be taken. All good. Noa terra, terra noa. Whoa. Noa terra is our nominative. It's our subject. New land. A new land. Ame. There's our ablative of agent. Told you it was going to come back. Inveniebatur, third person singular imperfect, inveniebatur. So a new land, invenio means to find. Venio means to come or to arrive. Invenio means to find something. So a new land, noa terra, a new land, inveniebatur, was found. Now you could say was being found, but that kind of sounds weird. Was found by me. Now, obviously in English, we would do this in the active, but we're just practicing here. So that's our original. Jaden, now that I know that you're here, what would my new English sentence be when I flippy it? I know, and I'm putting you on the spot. A new land was found by me. How do I change that around to be active? Yep, I was finding, or you just say I found. I discovered a new land. So now we have to build that sentence. I is going to get built into the verb, so we don't really need a nominative here. Found, of course, is our verb. A new land is now my direct object. It's the accusative. So noa tera becomes noam teram. And then excellent. I found, I need to make that verb now first person singular because I'm the subject. So I found a new land. In weniye batur, I need to make that first person singular and active now since I'm the one who found it. So that's going to be in weniye bam. And don't get too fancy when you're trying to do these verbs because you've got the blueprint. You've got the form right there. So all you're worrying about changing is the ending. Person and number and ending, but don't mess with those vowels. Right? If I give you that IE, you better give me that IE. If I give you the BA, better give me the BA. Right? Don't mess up the verb forms that I have so generously given you. Okay? So here we have an accusative, and then we have our verb, which is first person singular and imperfect. Okay? That's the big stuff, right? That's the stuff that's going to require some thought, some effort, right? Doing these verb charts, oh boy. I hope you can do these in your sleep. That's the goal, right? So amo, amare, oh my god, first person, first conjugation, come on now, please. We have second person singular, so we're going to do all the you forms. I'm going to speed through these just because we got about 9 minutes. Yeah. Jaden, just make sure that you read this carefully because it's second person singular, not third person singular. Unless my... Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess up the different versions of the doc. Hopefully. So my you form, right, amas, I changed that to the passive. Excuse me. Chugging water. So now I got to think about what the passive ending is for you. So we have OST, that's active. In the passive, it's ris tour. So amas becomes amaris. Imperfect, amabas becomes amabaris. And future, since it's first conjugation, nice, nice, nice. What are the two future forms, Jaden? I'll give you a second for these because they are a little funky. See if you remember. Blink and blank blank. Bis, of course, that would be the active form. And then something happens to bis if you were really paying attention on the worksheet. In the past, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well done. Yeah, that's one of those funky ones. Amaberis. It doesn't quite fit exactly what you'd expect it to. It's just a different spelling. So amabis becomes amaberis. Well done. Impono, imponere, to put on, really. To impose, we would say in English. That is third conjugation. Excellent. You remembered the one rare exception that you rarely see. I love it. Better than nothing. All right, so impono third conjugation, so we're going third person singular. Because it's third conjugation, remember that pattern. O, is, it. So we have imponit and imponitur. Imperfect, imponebat, imponebatur. And then future, don't give me Bobby Boo. That will make me, I'll say sad. Let's go with sad. Imponet and imponator. We use the E for future for third conjugation. Okay. So I in the present, E in the future. I will probably utter that more times than I care to think about in my life. But I in the present, E in the future. Acipio, acipera. This one is third IO. First person singular. The I forms. So we have acipio and we have acipior. Right? R. Nice, Jaden. Well done. Acipiebom. We need the I and the E for third IO and fourth. So think about this pattern, abot, but we've got eabot. Right? Acipiebom and acipiebar. And then future, again, don't give me Bobby Boo. It's going to be acipiam and acipiar. So future goes ace et. You don't often see the first person singular, so you don't really see that A too often, but the pattern is ace et amos atus ent. Couple more and then we'll call it a day. Video videre, third plural this time. There's only an A, Jaden, for the first person singular. So the pattern really goes like that. Amos atus. And I'm being lazy with my long marks, but that's the pattern. Ace et amos atus ent. That is future for third conjugation. Third IO, you would just put an I in front of them. So it'd be eam, eace, eet, which is what we have here. Acipiam, acipies. Right. Video here is second conjugation. For third, and then for third IO and fourth, you just add the I. So third IO and fourth would be eam, eace, eet. Exactly. Yep. Poor video. You've been waiting patiently. So second conjugation, nothing weird. Just follow your instincts. Third plural here, so we have vident and videntur. Videbant and videbantur. And we get to go back to our old friend Bobby Boo. Videbunt and videbantur. So exactly what you would expect. No weird vowel changes. Bobby Boo. Let's go. And our final verb here is ferio, ferire, to strike. That is fourth conjugation. Remember, fourth and third IO are essentially going to be the same. And this time it's first person plural. So we have ferimus and ferimur. We strike and we are struck. We are being struck. Imperfect, Jaden. What's going to come before the bamus? I'll do this. And I'll let you fill in what goes in between. Nice. Excellent. Yep, we have the I and the E. Feriebamus. variable. And then for future, of course, we're not going to use Bobby Boo. Fourth conjugation. We're so beyond Bobby Boo. Can't even see it. How would I make these two future forms? And then we out. Excellent. Variemos and variemur. Also, here's a little trick for third and third IO and fourth, right? Basically, you take your imperfect form and you just get rid of the BA. And that's going to work for third and third IO and fourth. So if you're in chart world, basically take your imperfect forms and just get rid of the BA. The vowels are always going to be the same, right? I guess first person singular is a little weird. So there are a few exceptions. But the vowels are going to basically be the same. So like imponebat, right? You take out the BA, you get imponet. You get your future. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's all you. Will I give you full charts on the quiz? This. You will have these charts on the quiz. Not like first person, second person, third person, singular, plural, 6 forms, not that. Just these. Yeah, these guys. You will have these kinds of charts on the quiz. All right, as always, Jaden, thanks for coming. I got to cut the first 5 minutes of this video. It's me chilling out, and then Amy makes an appearance on video. So we won't want that to be, there forever. I'll cut it down, so this one will be about 25 minutes or so. Jaden, good luck with everything else. I'll see you tomorrow. Sweet. No, thank you, my guy. See ya.